You're listening to Mr. Suave at MrSuave.com.
Mod is a generic term for the modern young man.
You were just a little mod. Just a little mod.
She's a mod, she's a mod, she's a mod, yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't give a monkey's arseholes about mods and rockers.
All I really want is me a mod boy with his own unique style.
Are you a mod or a rocker?
No, I'm a mocker.
Me one of us come on to getting underway. It's taking all night and into the day. Mods are back again. Mods are back again. Mods are back again.
Whether you approve or disapprove, they are real. And they're happening now in the mod world all around you.
You're listening to Mr. Suave's Mod World at MrSuave.com. You are listening to Mr. Suave's Mod World, the web's longest-running modcast, online at MrSuave.com and on modradiouk.net.
Tell you what, this is going to get
proper naughty.
Hello to all the Exoticats, loungophiles, tiki heads out there in the mod world. This is Modcast number 582 for those keeping track at home. Nobody really is, probably. Modcast Modxotica. That's what I'm going to call this, Modxotica.
If you're storing at home or even if you're alone.
Mr. Suave here, and I am joined, as you can hear this time around, by DJ Kent of the Shingles.
That's right.
Clear you don't have shingles, right?
I'm not sure.
You're just from the infamous band, the Shingles. You guys were infamous.
We still are. We've only put out one single.
That does it right there. That makes you infamous instantly.
There's more coming.
There's more coming. Ooh,
yeah.
Do tell. Or if you want to keep your cards close to your tiki vest.
No, we have nothing forthcoming immediately, but yeah, there's some stuff coming.
All right. We'll look forward to that. Okay, so I went ahead and pushed the envelope a little bit, I think, by starting the show, an Exotica lounge show, with a song Witch Doctor from Marky Funk.
So Witch Doctor?
Yeah, which doctor is it? Marky Funk, yeah, he's an Israeli acid jazz DJ.
The first Israeli of the show.
The first one, but not the last, you're correct.
No, yeah.
Very cool stuff, but it's got more of a soul funk exploitation kind of vibe going on, a little mod jazz funky thing. And the question is that Exotica?
I'd say no. I'd say it's more like mod jazz.
It is, but it's got some Exotica flourishes in there. See, I'm going to call it Exotica. I told you I'm pushing the envelope a little bit.
Okay.
It's 2025.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like done labeling things. It's just now it's just shit I listen to.
But it's not shit. It's just music you listen to. Don't be
so
hard on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't need to be a gatekeeper. You see people getting online arguing about what is tiki and what isn't tiki.
Oh, I know. That's
everything else, and and so yeah, I mean, it's exotic, and it's it is about a witch doctor.
It is
witch doctor.
Yeah, and it's got a throwback to sort of that cool 60s, 70s, mid-century sound, loungy vibe to it. And all of that, to me, always goes kind of hand in hand with Exotica.
Although, it's weird. They talk about the witch doctor, and they don't say ooh-ee, ooh-ah-ah, ooh-ee, walla bing bong, whatever it's called. That's how I traditionally know of the witch doctor, but this is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is more in the shrunken heads category.
I guess so. Remember those things, shrunken heads? You could buy them when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Shrunken heads.
They never worked. You made them. Didn't you have to like put them in the oven?
Yeah.
Yeah. Never worked.
Yeah. Just they would turn brown and you're okay. This is garbage.
So, what other Exotica stuff are we going to be hearing from? What have you been listening to lately that's exciting you in the world of Exotica?
Well, there's brand new stuff from, we're going to hear from Ixtuhuele, Sweden's Exotica band that are something else, especially live. They're great. We're going to hear from the Scimitars, who are a San Diego-based extremely exotic band. That's the other Israeli we're talking about. We're going to hear from Watiki 7.
Yeah.
Tikiaki Orchestra.
Yeah.
Are good friends. That's on the Exotica side. And also, there's a flip side to this show, which is...
Yeah. There's a flip side, lounge side.
Lounge. That's our post-mod roots, would you say.
Yes, it is. Yeah. These are all post-mod roots.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're going to kick this off. You want to tell people what it is or let them be surprised?
I should tell them what it is. This is The Millionaire and his magnetic syncopations. The Millionaire being the millionaire from Gumos Paladison. And this is his new project he's working on. He's released this song and another single, and we're hoping to hear more. Whole album's worth of stuff from The Millionaire. And this is Bouncy Bouncy.
Cocktail time, life gets sweeter at cocktail time. With each tick-tock of the clock turns day into night. Cocktail time, the skyline's lovely, the view divine. As you pour a drink, can't help but think your beauty is sublime. As daylight ends, romance begins, and you're all mine at cocktail time. Leave your cares and worries behind. Pretend the world is fine. Let's enjoy this moment of solitude, just me and you. Pretend the world is fine. Let's enjoy this moment of solitude, just me and you. Cocktail time, the skyline's lovely, the view divine. As you pour a drink, can't help but think your beauty is sublime. As daylight ends, romance begins, and you're all mine at cocktail time. You're all mine at cocktail time. You're mine. You're mine at cocktail time. Cocktail time.
Your girlfriend is what I like most about you. What I like most about you is your girlfriend. It's true. What I like most about you is your girlfriend. It's true. What I like most about you is your girlfriend. It's true. It's true.
No alcohol? This place sucks.
Hey, fella, give it a chance. We do serve shots of wheatgrass.
That's cool if you want to be sober and vomit.
All right, and that is Francis Nouvelle Vague doing a cover of a special song, mostly a Jerry Dammer song, called What I Like Most About You Is Your Girlfriend, and that is fantastic. I love that.
Of course, it's Jerry Dammers, the godfather, mod godfather of exotica, easy listening stuff.
Didn't we do a Jerry Dammer's Easy Listening show years back?
Yeah, right.
I believe we did, yeah.
It was something like Jerry Dammers prepared you for this.
Yeah, right.
And he did. I mean,
Yeah.
that second album from the specials was like elevator music.
Yeah, it was had some easy listening stuff in it. Little did we know what the 90s were going to bring us.
And it brought us that, and then Nouvelle Vague, robbing everybody's catalog to turn it into like torch music.
Oh, yeah, total like Eurotrash music. I love it.
Yeah, it's great. Before that
was Ixtahueli, brand new House of the Gods from Sweden. Ixtahueli, that name Ixtahueli is made up.
Okay.
They was looking for an exotic name and they wanted something original and not something stolen from somewhere, and so they came up with Ixtahueli, and that's yeah, I mean it sounds exotic. So
it does, and it looks exotic when you see it spelled out.
Yeah,
it's very authentic.
Yeah. For that, what did we hear?
The Tiki Delights on the lounge side of this show.
Yeah.
Cocktail time. Very
swanky.
loungy.
Very swanky.
It is swanky. It's not bad for sipping a martini or something.
Yeah. Have you done that with the have you spent some time with Tiki Delights? Some cocktail time?
Not a lot of cocktail time, sadly. I need to do more. Do more. Weather is good here in Seattle right now, and spending more time sitting on the deck in the evenings, playing cribbage with Mrs. Suave. And
so you guys are enjoying an early summer for you guys, right?
Yeah. Usually in Seattle, summer starts on July 5th.
Oh, and it goes for a week and a half.
It started a month ago. We started having nice weather. It's been really bizarre.
Yeah.
People were like, "This is not the January that we usually get."
January, I like that. Also, how do you play cribbage?
You know, me poorly, but Hillary's, man, she's a freaking wizard, and her and her dad have been playing cribbage for like 20 years, like keeping score. Like they know how many thousands of games they've played and who's better, goodness. And they memorized every possible hand you could get. I don't like playing with them very much. But, you know, when you're having a gin and tonic or something, it's okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Up top of that set, we started out with
The Millionaire and his magnetic syncopations, Bouncy Bouncy. That's The Millionaire from Composable Edison.
Yeah.
He's put that out. He's put out another single. We're hoping to hear more from him and the magnetic syncopations. I haven't heard a lot from him lately because he's doing soundtracks and he's a behind the scenes kind of guy now. But what a beautiful catalog he left with Combustible Edison. Truly the prologue of the 90s lounge scene.
Yeah. They were the template that everybody followed, sort of the archetypical cocktail band, right?
They're way ahead of it. I mean, they named themselves after a drink, or they named a drink after themselves. We're not sure which is which. But, a Combustible Edison.
Yeah. That was after what were they called first? December?
Yes.
Something like that. Not
Christmas.
Christmas.
They were called
Something
Christmas.
related to December.
Right.
Christmas. What a name for a band, Christmas.
Well,
I'm glad they changed to Combustible Edison.
yeah. And, they have recently released the demos that Gotham did with Sub Pop.
Oh, really?
You can go listen to them on Bandcamp. You can be really cool and you can buy them. Yeah, get over, go there to Bandcamp on Bandcamp Friday. That way the artist gets all the money.
Right.
And pick up those demos because they're really interesting. And there's some stuff that did make it to the final first record that I think people will find cool. And, early versions of songs that actually did make the record.
Right.
So highly recommend that. Bandcamp, Combustible Edison. It's very cheap. So yeah, do it.
And it's a good cause to help support people who did good music. And in the case of The Millionaire, is going to be doing good music, we hope. Giving us more and more and more.
And he doesn't have to because, he's a millionaire.
We got some more cool stuff coming up right now. We're going to get a little tiny bit more upbeat. This is The Scimitars.
Charlie. I do get such a bang out of this sort of thing.
All right, we are back. You are listening to Modcast number 582, Modxotica. I am here with DJ Ken, and we're going through some exotica and lounge tracks this week.
Did you just coin a phrase?
Did I just coin a phrase?
Yeah, Modxotica?
I've said that before in the past, and I thought maybe I'd had a show called that at one point, and I went and looked because even I lose track of stuff now. And no, I never actually, titled anything that. So I thought I'm going to use that, Modxotica.
Well, there you go.
Kind of cool, doesn't it?
You should call the show that.
Yeah. Well, it's Mr. Suave's Mod World.
Well, I mean, this specific, what number show is this?
582. It's Modxotica.
Yeah.
That is what I'm calling it.
Fair enough.
That last one was Waitiki 7 with Similao from their New Sounds of Exotica album. Not exactly new anymore, I suppose. But
no, it's been out for quite some time.
Like 15, 20 years, probably. I think it was from like 2012, maybe 2013, something like that.
I think before that.
You think it was older than that?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Well, it's been out a while, but when we talked originally about this, modern exotica, however you want to define that, I suppose, modern for me meant if it was made after the turn of the century. 21st century.
After the first era of exotica.
Yeah. There might have been two eras. There was the original, right?
No.
And then you have all the stuff that happened in the 90s. That's kind of a second era of exotica. The second wave. How many waves are there? Not as many as ska.
No.
Thankfully. What was right before that? Oh, Tikiaki.
Tikiaki Orchestra. The Boo Bam song.
Boo Bam.
Boo Bam. And that's off their newest album, Tropica, which came out in 2023. And I have word, well, actually I know for sure, that the new Tikiaki Orchestra album is on the way.
Oh, cool.
I'm not sure when it's going to come out, but I don't know if I can talk too much about it, but there's a different kind of sound to it that people are going to dig, and it's going to totally fall into this exotica lounge thing that we're doing right now. I mean, I can't say much more than that, but look out for the new Tikiaki Orchestra. That's going to be really cool.
You think it's going to be this year?
I don't know. I don't know if they're completely done recording or where they are in the process, but I just know I know what they recorded, and it's really right in the middle of this exotica and lounge thing.
Oh, cool. Well, it's always good to hear that they're doing new stuff. So what was the like mini combo group they had, Tiki 5-0?
Tikiaki 5-0, yeah. That's
Tikiaki 5-0?
That's them without a vibraphone player. It's kind of like the stripped down band. They're more of a surfy kind of band when they do
more surf rock. Yeah.
They play a lot of shows because getting the orchestra together is really, really tough. And it's kind of expensive, and so they do a lot of they do tiki marketplaces and smaller shows because they can get that combo together pretty quick.
Right, it's a little easier to do that than the full orchestra. All right, right before that was the Guy Hamper Trio featuring James Taylor.
But not folky James Taylor and not from the Prisoners and everything else James Taylor.
Not Mod James Taylor.
Right.
Well, I don't know. This James Taylor might be Mod. He's a trumpeter.
Well.
The Guy Hamper Trio has some exotica flourishes and touches. And there were maybe some songs that had even a little more than this one. All the Poisons in the Mud, which is a title track for an album. And they're really jazzy.
So who is Guy Hamper?
Pretty sure it's a made-up name.
Yeah.
But the band is tight, man. They're really good.
Like the Len Price Trio or something? Or
right. Yeah, who was Len Price?
I don't know. And they have a new one out, too.
Do they have a brand new album out?
They have a new, it's coming out, but they have a single out right now. It's actually the song of the week on Little Steven's Underground Garage.
Oh, yeah. The coolest song in the world or whatever?
Yeah, this week. Yes. It's good. That's another show, though.
It is another show.
Yeah.
We'll pencil that in for August.
Yeah.
What did we kick things off with?
Well, San Diego's own Scimitars with Mystic Sphinxter. Scimitars are Ramosesco. Well, that's what I'm going to say. It's Ramosesco and then John Paul Ballack and Pablo, both from Tikiaki Orchestra, as a rhythm section. And Ramosesco is playing, I don't even know what the hell that instrument is. It's those quarter tones, and it's not a guitar. I don't know what it is. But they're very exotic guy. Ramsesco's from Israel originally, moved to San Diego, started he found a hole in the market for surf music. He thought it wasn't exotic enough, so he made it super exotic.
Yeah, no, that's great stuff.
Yeah, some crazy shit, man.
Okay, we're gonna move on to our next little set, and we're going to kick it off with something that's a little different, but definitely in the lounge world.
Kind of, it treads that line between lounge and, well, I mean, it is yacht rock because the band is Yachtly Crew. So I mean, we can get into the semantics of is yacht rock another version of lounge? I'd say no, it's not. It's just easy listening music that your mom liked in the 70s.
Yeah.
But this particular song is very, very like loungy. We'll see why.
All right, we'll listen and we'll talk when we come back.
Friday night I was late at the Mai Tai Cafe. I was a few drinks deep when she wandered my way. What are you drinking tonight? I'd be happy to buy. Don't know what you want. Here's a few you could try. You could have a dark and stormy, a daiquiri, a margarita or a martini, a French connection, a fine cognac, a whiskey sour or a Sazerac. And she looked at me, said I know what I need, help. Sex on the beach, with a drink in her hand and a look in her eye. She led me down to the seaside. As we lay in the sand, we looked to the sky. spotlights came to town. The stage is set, so don't forget your part is in your heart. You're the star, the greatest show on Come inside, sit right down, be the hero, play the clown. The stage is set, so don't forget your part is in your heart. You're the star, the greatest show on the greatest show on earth. It's all up in your mind. You better get your money's worth this time. The stage is set, so don't forget your part is in your heart. You're the star, the greatest show on
listening to Mr. Suave's Mod World at mrsuave.com, celebrating mod-influenced music, including soul, ska, garage, power pop, punk, Britpop, acid jazz, lounge, easy listening, and more.
That gun looks more fitting for a woman.
Do you know much about guns, Mr. Bond?
No, I know a little about women.
That last little bit of goodness, I call it goodness because I loved it. That is the band Pleasurewood. Some firework from 2022. They're producers and DJs as well as like musicians, obviously, but UK band, and they're a little quirky, but I definitely think that album had some exotica, a lot of exotica flourishes to it. They Live was the album, I think 2023, and it's just cool. It's got like that kind of groovy, swinging lounge sound to it. I like it. Right before that really long one. What was that?
That long one was The Greatest Show from 90s stalwart lounge band. My other favorite band from the 90s, lounge scare, Love Jones from Louisville, Kentucky. They came out to LA, got a deal, recorded, put out a couple albums, broke up. Some stayed here, some went back to Kentucky. And then they've off and on, they put a third album. Geez, must be like 15 years ago now, 2010, give or take. But they recorded a series of songs over COVID, and I've been in the process of mixing them down. So I don't know if the whole album's going to come out, or if they're going to release these as an EP or as singles only. But there is more coming from Love Jones. So if you were a fan of their 90s stuff, this is a little different. It's a little more mature, but it's still very good and extremely loungy still. So
yeah. What song is that?
That was The Greatest Show.
The Greatest Show. Okay. So I gotta look for that because I hadn't heard it yet, and it is loungy.
Yeah. I
mean,
it was,
what's to be expected.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, back in the day, that's what you would have played if you had to get up and go to the bathroom while you were DJing on the radio, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. For me, when I was in the air, I would put on Blue Monday from New Order and go take care of business.
It makes like 12 minutes.
It's fairly long, yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like that is all they play on, what is it, on Sirius? First Wave?
First Wave.
Every time I tune in there, I'm hearing that, but now I digress.
Yeah. I'm liking on Sirius, I'm liking the deep cuts, First Wave deep cuts. They actually do play some deep cuts, and I enjoy that a lot. Actually, a lot more than the First Wave, because
it's pretty popular stuff, which is all right. I mean,
yeah, it's a little redundant, but I'm thankful that it's it's the rock of the '80s stuff and not like catch-all '80s crap like Cyndi Lauper and
right,
like pop. It actually is like new wave stuff and post-punk.
It's very, it is very K-Rock and 91X. I remember listening to 91X. Weren't they out of San Diego until they had to move to Mexico to put their transmitter over the border? Or something?
Yeah, they were started by the singer that started K-Rock. The late Rick Carroll left K-Rock and started 91X and started the whole Rock of the '80s chain across the country. He passed away quite some time ago, but he was responsible for the Rock of the '80s revolution, pretty much. Well, the late Jed the Fish, who just passed away.
Yeah,
a big part of that. We can really get into it, but yeah.
And that's a whole other show.
Yeah, and I'd love to do that too. Yeah,
we should. All right, I'm penciling that one in for September.
Yeah. All right.
It's funny I say that, but I don't think I've used a pencil since like 1992.
I use a pencil a lot, but only the eraser. Strangely, I mean, it's true.
You use it to wind up your cassette tape that's
clogging
your car or something.
I actually found some cassette the other day. No, I have a clock that's supposed to set itself. It's supposed to be set to the atomic time, and it hasn't done that since probably the aughts. So the buttons are so worn that I can't push it in with my fingers anymore. So I have to use an eraser from a pencil, which that's an extremely boring story.
Well, that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to pencil that one in.
But I see what you did there. All right, what did we hear before? Love Jones in The Greatest Show.
Misha Panthalov and Sean Lee with Freaky Tiki Cafe.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. What do you got from me here?
I learned about Sean Lee, I don't know, in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Did all this cool exotica library music, bachelor pad-esque sort of stuff with psychedelic rock and
You ever heard his cover of Wichita Lineman?
probably.
It's so good. Like
Is it?
Well, because that song's perfect. So if you're going to cover it, you got to do something different because you can't make a note for note copy because there's nothing more perfect than that song, really. So he took it a whole different. It's really cool, actually.
No, he's really cool. And all I know about Misha is that he's collaborating with Sean Lee, and he's like from Estonia or something.
With a name like Misha Pafilov? How would you say that?
I mean,
okay.
Who knew?
That's true.
But that was Freaky Tiki Cafe.
Freaky
and then
Tiki.
We started that out with something really great.
We started off with Sex on the Beach, Rob.
Like I said, really great.
From Yachtly Crew. That does tread the line of easy listening, yacht rock, and lounge. No tiki in that whatsoever.
No, that's all right.
It's a cheesy song. Yachtly Crew are extremely popular wherever they play. They draw huge crowds. They're a fun time. There's a big thing about yacht rock in the tiki scene. There's a few people who love yacht rock. Tiki Caliente, they have a yacht rock Sunday.
Oh, really?
It's a whole thing, and it angers like the purist, and it really overjoys the drinkers. So, what are you going to do?
I'm more of a drinker than a purist.
There you go. But people are like, get the yacht rock on the tiki. I'm just like, whatever.
So, are they the same people that want to get rid of the surf music that's in tiki? Or, I mean, there's all sorts of things that are kind of in the tiki exotica wheelhouse that you start getting rid of stuff, pretty soon you don't have anything left.
I think surf music actually is allowed. It's in if you ever looked at the book of tiki that Sven wrote, it's allowed.
It's allowed.
Yeah,
the Bible has said so.
It's part of the foundation of the tiki scene, not tiki music itself, but
right.
Whatever the scene that started in the 90s when all started.
That's a good distinction between tiki music and the tiki scene. Because the scene is, I mean, you go to something like Tiki Oasis and you're going to get straight up punk rock bands sometimes.
The tiki scene really has been emerging of, originally it was like mostly a lot of post-punk people.
Right.
A lot of mods.
Yeah.
Ex-mods and people who are still mods. But then it's attracted, unfortunately, a lot of the parrot heads, Jimmy Buffett people.
Yeah.
And it's really infiltrated with a lot of rockabilly now, which isn't that great.
Rockabilly has never been my thing. Some of it's all right, but it's not very tiki. It's funny, though, that all of these sort of their subgenres, subcultures kind of all glommed onto and were solidified by tiki somehow.
Yeah, tiki is the subculture retirement home.
Yeah.
Is what it is.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've done a good job of livening up somebody's retirement.
I hope so.
Tracks. It's good to go over this stuff with you, Ken. As always.
Yeah, we threw this together pretty quick.
We did.
There's all kinds of other things we could throw in here, and maybe we'll do another show similar to this. Except this, instead of it being tiki and lounge, it'll be lounge and tiki. So
TNL or LNT.
Yeah. But we can easily do another show like this. There's a ton of things we could do. Anyway, it's beginning of summer. Happy summer, Rob.
Happy summer to you too. I'm looking forward to it.
I spoke to Mr. Mike from the Sparkle Jets, and he and I are getting together next week, hopefully, to record our beginning of the summer show.
Okay.
I'll talk to you off the air about what we're working on. But happy summer to you and to everyone who's listening. Have a cool summer.
We got one more thing we're going to take you out with. This is probably my favorite lounge exotica band from the 90s, Stereophonic Space Sound Unlimited. And I discovered them, I think I probably heard about them maybe from you or someone, but I hadn't actually heard them. I'd heard about them. And then I listened to the Fluid Soundbox, I think it is, or the soundboard, that red and white album cover.
Yeah.
Late 90s. I listened to it at Barnes & Noble listening station. Remember those listening stations?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's one of my favorite things. Go in there and spend 45 minutes listening to all sorts of junk. so much better than the internet. Anyhow, that was Stereophonic Space Sound Unlimited, my introduction to them, and they're fantastic. And here they are.
And they're still around.
Yeah, right?
Still around. And they're great.
They're absolutely fantastic. This album was, I think, 2022. It's called The Flawless Ms. Drake. And it's very cool, groovy.
With cover art by Tiki Lounge artist Shag.
Yeah, the great Shag. Yeah, most famous Tiki artist that there is, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, sure.
And there's a lot of them, actually.
Well, there is now, and most of them copy Shag. So,
well, you know, that's a form of flattery. So, his copyright probably doesn't think so, but
well, I can tell you stories, but that's for off the air.
Okay, so I'm penciling that show in for November.
Wow.
Anyhow, here we go. One last song, Stereophonic Space Sound Unlimited. This is Catnip. I'm Mr. Suave. Thanks for listening.
Aloha.